Hardcore punk is a genre that came and went in a flash. The raw, aggressive, unfiltered energy has gone on to inspire bands like the Beastie Boys, Nirvana, and even Paramore. Today, I'm going to go over 5 albums that you should listen to if you want to get into early 80s classic styled hardcore punk. The essential album for hardcore in general is Black Flag's Damaged. Damaged is one of the, if not the most influential hardcore albums of all time. Not only did it inspire early 80s hardcore sound, but it has laid the blueprint for hardcore as it is today, with genres like beatdown and metalcore. Although this album isn't one of my favorites, it has some groovy bass lines, cutthroat vocals from Henry Rollins, and some charismatic and iconic songs. If you like more sluggish or sludge or just dirty type music, give this album a shot. Here are my standout songs, and if you don't want to type all of these in individually, I provided a playlist with all of them in the video down below, and I also sprinkled in some other songs from other albums. The second album is more punk rock and horror oriented. The Misfits' Static Age. Static Age was released in 1996 as an archival record from the late 70s golden age of the Misfits. It is the best horror punk album of all time and has enough easily digestible, simple songs for someone who's just getting into the genre. The song structures were revolutionary for their time, even though a lot of them are pretty simple, and the vocals and energy provided by Glenn Danzig on this record are theatrical and carry so much weight. The riffs are catchy, the drums are fast, and the energy is unmatched to any other punk band. Out of all the other albums on the list, this one is a lot more casual. You can play this in the car or any other kind of loose social setting. This is the most stylistic and thematic hardcore punk album ever, and still the most covered album I hear when I go to live shows. Here are my standout songs, and let's move on to the next one. For the third album, and my favorite growing up, it's Milo Goes to College by The Descendants. This album pioneered skate and pop punk. It laid the groundwork for bands that would come later like The Offspring, NoFX, and even Blink-182. Milo's whiny vocals and the riffs on this thing, whether it be from the bass or the guitar, are just so tight and I think severely underrated even today. The songs are catchy, adding a little bit of melody while also being angsty and raw. While there's stupid and fun songs like I Want to Be a Bear, they managed to shove in some tear-jerking songs like Gene is Dead, Bikeage, and Hope. All around, it's a very versatile pop punk and hardcore album, and although some of the lyrics haven't aged the best, even a lot of lyrics leaning into proto-incel culture, it's a product of its time and without a doubt the most influential pop punk album ever. If you like 90s skate bands or even early 2000s pop punk bands like Fall Out Boy, I would give this record a shot. These are my standout songs. Some of these songs got me through high school and are still some of my favorite songs today. Minor Threat. Minor Threat, led by Ian MacKaye, was the band that breathed life into the DC hardcore scene. The genre was still having its hard time getting its feet off the ground, but when these 2 EPs came out, it added such an authentic and raw and simple take to the genre that it inspired so many people. Minor Threat had the unique ability to pour out so much unfiltered rage into a song while also keeping it simple and fast. This is one of my favorite hardcore punk albums, and I think it defines the genre for this time perfectly. Here are my standout songs, and this EP isn't even 20 minutes, so I would just give it a shot. Now, I had a hard time picking between these two, so I'm just going to throw them both on here. Bad Brains, Banned in DC, and Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruits for Rotting Vegetables. These are the two best hardcore punk albums in terms of quality and composition. These albums have thoughtful, philosophical, and political messaging that gave the genre its fiery, iconic status. They encompass the true ethos of punk by talking about American injustice and inequality, and doing so in satirical and humorous ways. I think both of these albums are just as good as each other, but if you want to listen to one or the other, I would listen to Bad Brains if you want something faster or more visceral, and I would listen to Dead Kennedys if you want something more grounded and danceable. Here are my standout songs for Banned in DC, and here are my favorite songs for Fresh Fruit. Like I said earlier, if you don't want to manually add these songs or look them up, I provided a Spotify playlist in the description, and I also added some other songs to it as well. That's going to wrap up today's video. Make sure you like and subscribe. And also, what album got you into hardcore punk? Or what's just your favorite hardcore punk album? Feel free to leave that in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.